Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind. This is the primary commandment of the Orange Catholic Bible, a religious text formed from the integration of various Old Earth scriptures created in the aftermath of the Butlerian Jihad. It explicitly prohibits the development of thinking machines and any kind of advanced computer technology. But without such technology, where does that leave humanity? Without computers to navigate, how will humans be able to safely travel between the stars? How will this impact interstellar trade if merchants are forced to travel more slowly and cautiously for fear of disaster? Without massive databanks of knowledge and information, and without computers to calculate all possible variables and applications of said information, how can leaders rule effectively? For after all, knowledge is power. The first question was solved by the discovery of Arrakis, spice melange, and the development of the Spacing Guild and its navigators. The second problem would be solved by perhaps the only faction in all of the Dune universe that has no direct connection to the spice. Welcome to Brainstorm Lore, and welcome to the Mentats of Dune. Once again, I am sticking firmly to the 6 Frank Herbert books rather than any extended works by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. As such, therefore, any background information on the Mentats is, once again, scanty at best. It's kind of like Ben Kenobi making that one reference to the Clone Wars in the original trilogy. All that we're told in the 6 Frank Herbert books was that the Mentats, like all the other major institutions of Dune, was founded in the aftermath of the Butlerian Jihad and its prohibition against advanced computers. We're really only given 2 specific details: the name of the first Mentat, Gilbertus Albans, and the fact that the Mentats were created to fill in the role that had once been performed by thinking machines, to act as repositories of information and advice to other people, most notably the noble houses of the Landsraad and factions like the Spacing Guild and the Bene Gesserit. The only known detail concerning Mentat training is the attempt to cultivate what is called the naive mind. The Dune fan wiki describes it as follows: a supra-logical mind, without preconception or prejudice, one that can extract the essential patterns or logic of data and deliver, with varying degrees of certainty, useful conclusions. As best as I can interpret that, it essentially means that a Mentat strives, or must strive at least, to achieve a state of mind that is purely, coldly logical, devoid of emotion or bias. Then and only then, at least as I can best interpret this, can a Mentat not only absorb information, but also computate it and extrapolate it into probable outcomes. Although these logical processes were meant to work within an ethical framework, there are said to be certain instances of so-called twisted Mentats. Piter de Vries, the Baron Harkonnen's sadistic advisor, is a perfect example of a Mentat that is able to extrapolate and use logic without any reference to morality whatsoever. Much like the Spacing Guild, outside of the first book, the Mentats play a very minor role in the original 6 Frank Herbert books. Of course, Thufir Hawat, the Atreides spy master, is a significant character in Dune. But from books 2 through 4, the Mentats pretty much cease to be a significant factor in the story. During the reign of Leto II, the Mentats, who were very much opposed to his rule, like pretty much everyone else, were brutally suppressed, to the point where the only training facilities left for those who could learn Mentat abilities were those in care of the Bene Gesserit, and even then the Sisterhood suspects that their survival was a deliberate exemption on Leto's part. We really don't have a significant Mentat character again until the 5th book, Heretics of Dune, in the form of Miles Tegg, who is of course in service to the Sisterhood. The last remaining relevant detail about the Mentat is the use of Safu juice, a high-energy liquid derived from a plant native to the planet Elkaz that has mental-boosting abilities. The only known side effect of Safu consumption is a permanent red stain on the lips. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is on the Mentats, and boy does that make me feel uncomfortable, given how short this video has turned out to be. However, I will be more than making up for it next week as I dive into one of the most detailed and important factions in all of Dune aside from the Fremen themselves. Next week, the Bene Gesserit, their pseudo-offshoot, the Honored Matres, and the prophecy of the Kwisatz Haderach. Until then. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and check out our website at studiobrainstorm.net. And if you have a story that you think is worth telling, we are more than happy to help you publish it. Thank you, and have a nice day.